Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Thyroid, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Today is, what is this, October, I think it's the 26th. Yeah, Friday, October 26th. Y'all see I have on my Oshun? I just felt led to put on my Oshun orange today. But I'm here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. So I wanted to get on real quick because I had a revelation yesterday. I wanted to share this with you all yesterday. And I just really had a good laugh about it, thankfully. So I hadn't told y'all just because I haven't been on a whole lot. I about 3 weeks ago today, my neck went into what I call crisis, where you know how you feel like you have tension in your neck, and once you get warmed up, you can work it out. Yeah, it has not worked out. And so it turns out after going to finding a new chiropractor, which I should have been doing like for the last year and a half. Yes, it's been probably a year and a half since I had gone to get an adjustment, and I had only gone at that point because I had gotten in a car accident during Mercury retrograde. But anywho, I go to the chiropractor and find out my neck is in the opposite direction of what it should be, and it probably is responsible because it was pushing on my thyroid for a lot of stuff that I've been experiencing in my body, my mind, my spirit. And so, I had expressed to the chiropractor that I was very stressed when it went into like this, I call it locked up stage, very tender, could barely move it, just a lot of pain. And he said, when you looked at could look at my x-rays, you could see that this atlas up here was pressing on the thyroid. You could see the thyroid. The thyroid was under distress. And that was probably why I was just like not being able to deal with stress, which I have said, I think I'm allergic to stress. Like I'm even having a moment of revelation. Maybe for the last 2 years or so, I've been saying, I think I'm allergic to stress because stress will just create this havoc in my body. And so I've started getting my adjustments, and all of a sudden I'm feeling happier, lighter in my mood. Yeah, I feel like I can still get stressed, but it doesn't feel like I'm just constantly walking around with tension. I had even learned, in this last year or two more about numerology. In 22, which I have a 22, and my birthday's on the 11th, those numbers carry a lot of tension. And so I was like, well, I guess I just need to learn how to deal with tension. I'm like, wow, this sucks. No, boo. Some of this is called your thyroid is jacked. Even though, you go get your checkup because the health insurance company says you got to go. And they check my thyroid. Oh, you're good. I'm like, really? I really was wondering if something wrong with my thyroid. Anywho, I'm on the phone with friend number one yesterday. And she was just like, I'm feeling some kind of way about you saying you don't want to talk on the phone because we're working on a project. And she's like, how are we not going to talk on the phone? Like, do you not want to talk to me? And I said, I don't want to talk on the phone? Really? Oh, okay. I need to back up for a second. Something just came to my mind. I was telling y'all about how I have this thing going on with my neck. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what I want to talk about today is this example of Venus in retrograde in Scorpio. This is where I'm going, okay? Because it's so easy to tell everybody this is what all of this means. It's another thing to live it. And yesterday, I lived this thing. Because Venus in retrograde in Scorpio is about bringing the light to relationships. It's among other things, but definitely bringing the light to relationships. And a lot of times we might think, oh, I'm watching everybody else to see who's going to get cut from my life. But maybe we are the problem. And yesterday I found out I was the problem. And it is related to what I told y'all about with my neck, which I didn't know anything until, I went into crisis, and then I go find out my thyroid was getting crushed by one of my atlas. Okay, going back to my friend number one, I'm feeling some kind of way about, okay, I'll get to that. I'm feeling some kind of way about you not wanting to talk to me. And I was like, I said that. I said I didn't want to talk on the phone. And I told her I had been thinking about, why is she not calling me? This is so hilarious. And I said, I guess, and really when I think back on it, what I would have been alluding to is I'm stressed. And she even said that. She said, you said you're stressed and you don't want to be on the phone. And, the way she was talking, I just sounded frenetic and anxious. And I said, oh, wow. I said, well, yeah, that is true. That's how I've been feeling. I said, but I don't even remember saying that. I'm like, wow. So then another friend called me yesterday, which typically I don't like talking on the phone. I really don't. Because it takes so much out of me. It's a lot of energy to be talking. But the other friend called me and we were chatting, and she was saying, I see you're losing weight now, because that's another thing that the thyroid could affect. And she said, I was like, oh, well, let me tell you about how, I've had these adjustments. Now I'm starting to lose some weight. And my mood is lighter. She said, oh, thank goodness. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She said, this is one of my dance friends. I perform with her. She said her and two others from our group, another dancer and a drummer, they were about to do an intervention on me. I'm like, really? Because I have been so mean and moody. And it wasn't what I was saying, it was how I've been talking to them. And she was like, I know you probably didn't notice. I was like, yeah, I noticed. I said, but I thought, I know, Paulette. I thought that I was just being honest. And she was like, no, you're being a little bit more than honest. And I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. As Tony Baker Comedy says, I never knew. So I started thinking about it, because one of these people is so nice. One of the nicest people you could ever meet. And a dude. And this guy is complaining about my moodiness. And I'm like, oh, I had noticed, but I was like, oh, I really and truly got to make amends. So, of course, I apologized to the friend who was on the phone. She was so gracious. She was like, oh, girl, it's okay. Just as long as we getting things back, we good. I was like, oh, wow, that was easy. But I said, oh, I'm very, very sorry, for anything I've done to offend you. And then I called and talked to the man, and he was like, I knew something was off. We know this isn't you. And we had just like it was like a blossoming. And I just was like, and it was so funny because the friend who told me, the dance friend who was like, girl, you've been off the chain moody. She said that, what was I going to tell y'all? We were laughing because I was talking to her about Venus in retrograde regarding someone else who had made a comment about me. I was like, girl, Venus is in retrograde, so I'm looking to see who I'm going to cut off. And so after I found out I'm a problem in relationships, I thought, when Venus retrograde in Scorpio is about you, wow. So I just wanted to share, I have had my own revelation of Venus in retrograde. In retrograde in Scorpio, right here. And then I even started thinking, I think I've been a little bit extra moody with my husband. I know I have been, but I just thought it was I just need to be left alone for a little while. Like, don't come to me when I don't want you to come to me. Don't talk to me if I don't want to be spoken to. You know, I had no idea. I never knew. I never knew. It was my neck, my thyroid, all of this throwing me off a bit, you know? So that's like a huge major blessing for me. That is like, and you know, for me, Scorpio is my first house. The first house is the self, the body. So this has been such, I know, this has been such a good revelation. These are the blessings and the gifts. It's not always what we want to see. You know, a lot of us want to be bestowed the mysticism of Oshun, the sensuality, the beauty, you know, the ability to manifest, poof, exactly what we want. But Oshun is saying to us, baby, you need to work on your relationships. This is part of it. This is not all of it, but you need to work on your relationships. And perhaps you need to look at, where are you slacking in your relationship, in your commitments to people around you. You got folks thinking you don't want them to talk to you. You don't want to talk to them, I should say. You snapping at folks. And my husband is very scorpionic. He's very masculine. He don't take no crap. He ain't super like easy to offend. But I've even seen him looking at me like, can I speak to you? I never knew. Let me see, Paulette. Yeah, Paulette, you understand. Yes, it's so nice to have people who will help support me. Yes, and love me in spite of myself. Yep. You know, Paulette, I've lived with depression quite a bit. And you know, lupus, I can believe that lupus, I've never known anybody with lupus who didn't really, it's very challenging. Like, even the diagnosis of lupus is very challenging. And honestly, I have not thought on it too much, but I think to myself, people with the autoimmune conditions, I can relate to, because no one can look at you and tell anything is wrong, but you feel wrong on the inside. So I've often thought to myself, oh my God, people with conditions where you can't look at them and tell anything is wrong, but their whole inner being is off. My heart goes out. This situation has shown me we have to really and truly love people when they're down and out, because it's not easy to feel like you're in a battle in your body. It's hard. I admire people who go day in and day out living with this, you know, well, as we say, at dis-ease. You don't feel at ease in your body. It's something to really, like, these are strong people. So did you ask me about twin flames, Paulette? Because I don't see the question now. Oh, yes. There we go. Okay, let me tell you what came to my mind, because typically I don't talk about twin flames because I don't really know anything. Oh, I'm talking about Oshun for you today, Paulette. That's confirmation. High five. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. So I don't all the time talk about twin flames because I don't really know anything about twin flames. But what I heard to tell you is that we are our own twin flames. The twin flame really is the self, little s, with the self. And so if you go back and look at my channel, I have a playlist of all the YouTube videos that I've made. If you see any with Ori in there, or if we're talking the higher self, Ori would be the name that comes from the Ifa tradition. Ganesha is another one. If you're looking at Metaneter, I say this is Oyser. It is the part of ourself that is undifferentiated. It remains in the non-physical realm. It is to a certain degree good. I'm glad you saw that one. It is part of our consciousness is inserted into this body where I'm identified as Tyra Omilade, and you are identified as Paulette. But the majority of that consciousness is like in the etheric field, I guess you could say. It's in the non-physical realm, the energetic realm. And that is the ultimate twin flame, honestly. And I'm actually going to do a reading to ask the oracle, am I right? Because I don't know anything about twin flames. But after having been married for 24 years, in what I would consider a good marriage, and good for me is healthy, because me and my husband, we are like 180 on some stuff. We don't see eye to eye. We're not like this couple that is like all huggy, whatever we have been programmed to see, that might not be us. But we have been able to navigate 24 years plus 3 years of dating. And I think we've done it in a good manner, though I'm not saying we're perfect. And what I have come to learn is that, and I think my husband would say the same thing, the ultimate is not me and him. The ultimate, and I know twin flame is not always love and romance. I know that too. And so I'll say, for instance, my two besties, well, really three. Okay. So if anybody sees this, you're my bestie. But there's three people that's been long-term friends for me. Three that's been long-term friends. And even they could be considered like friend twin flames. It doesn't matter. Right. You see me, Paulette. So it doesn't matter what the kind of relationship is, even though I think twin flames, a lot of times people are looking for their twin flames in that romantic way. The only thing that matters is the relationship of the self with the self. My consciousness here in this realm with that part of myself that is external. If there is no relationship with the higher self, and that is not what is leading and guiding and directing us, that is not our all in all, then the human twin flame is in fact going to let us down. I can assure you of that. The twin flame for me is me being matched up with the inner me. And that twin flame is eternal. That twin flame, see, I often say my husband was not there at the moment of my conception, thank God. He was not there when I was born. He could take me out. He could, but ultimately, my death is on me and my Ori. So the ultimate of my Ori runs my body. My twin flame, my Ori, it is running my body whether I say thank you, Ori, for running my body or not. My Ori is who is there with me while I sleep and keeps my body flowing. It's healing my body. So the ultimate, as I see it, twin flame, is the relationship between me and my higher self. This is what I've been told to tell you. And so this is why the human aspect of the twin flame, which is that other person, should lead us to our higher self. So my relationship with my husband has only pointed me back to me. You know, I had said I was going to say to y'all, well, when you find out that the finger that you're pointing at everybody else has three fingers pointing back at you. I used to say that all the time. A lot of times people hate that. But that has been one of the guiding principles in my relationship with my husband. Because I begin to find out, if I go to my husband and say, you are the problem, he's going to say, oh, by the way, let me tell you how you're the problem. Since you're going to bring up what you don't like about me, let me bring up what I don't like about you. He showed me real quick. Don't be coming up in here with no mess. So I began to learn, stop and reflect and to see, am I really upset with my husband? Or is there something really going on with me? And I probably 95% of the time will conclude, I don't really have a problem with my husband. I have a problem with me. And so that is how My twin flame of my husband has pointed me back to myself. My husband points me back to myself. My friends point me back to myself. My friends yesterday saying to me, girl, something wrong with you. Pointed me back to myself. That to me is the ultimate twin flame experience. I need to probably learn more because I do get questions about it. Ah, Grand Rising. Good. I'm glad that this, resonates with you, Paulette, because I just have never found anything to work but my Ori. I've never found anything. Nothing. Nothing. And I've tried, like we all do. I've tried to find that connection. The only connection I find that works is going in and connecting to my higher self. And what ends up happening is I get bestowed blessings of friends that will be honest with me, friends that will support me, friends who love and respect me. I get blessings of, my husband, my children, great in-laws, my siblings, my parents, just blessings, material blessings. The tighter I am with the twin flame of my higher self, that's when the blessings come. The ultimate no thingness. Wow, I really appreciate you for bringing this up. Because we talk about no thing. When we go into meditation, we go into no thingness. You connect with the great divine. That's the ultimate, and that's from which all the blessings flow. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Twin flame actually is really, really on point for today's discussion because it's about relationships. So thank you. Yes. Let me give you one more thing, Paulette. There's a book that I remember reading called Radical Forgiveness. I love you too. If you go to my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com, and look at maybe, I can't remember, but maybe it's under the mother. Maybe it's under the mother. The goddess says the mother, or maybe it's under forgiveness or something like that. But I talk about this book called Radical Forgiveness. And what radical forgiveness taught me is that the persons in our lives who bring us the greatest pain are actually on the spiritual level our greatest advocates, because they have to descend into a place in our lives and be that plane, that source of hurt and pain, to help us get to addressing some things that perhaps we haven't addressed and we need to address. Because people can only bring up for us things that are there. And so our Ori will continue to work to try to get us to make these changes. This is the energy of Oya also. Oya will be like, look, baby, make this change. Baby, you got stinking thinking up here. You got a wrong thought. You got the lie in you. You got a wound in you. We need to get this taken care of, baby. Okay? That's what y'all talking to us. And we're like acting like we can't hear it. We might hear it a little bit, and we go faster and faster into the opposite direction of what Oya is coming. And Oya will bring it up higher in our consciousness, but it'll be a little more, with a little more oomph in it or whatever, and just keep bringing it up, bring it up, bring it up. Like, you need to make changes, honey. And then she's like, tornado, I'm going to bring one of the worst relationships of your life because I need you to fix this. And that person will come through like that tornado. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, I'm so hurting. Oh my God, this is so horrible. This is so painful. Or you guys like, I told you to fix it. And I can't not address it. I've got to do something about it. But that person's Ori conspired with your Ori to get you to this place where you're like, okay, Ori and Oya, what do I need to do? I can't do anything but change. And then we begin to make the necessary changes. We begin to get the healing. And the next thing that we feel through radical forgiveness is gratitude for that person. That was when I knew I'm healing up. After I started using radical forgiveness, there was somebody who I felt like I hate this person. The first time I said, I am so grateful that I had that experience because it now has helped me to heal up and grow, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? And now I see the person and it's like, hey girl, how you doing? We cool. So that is something to think about. Radical forgiveness, and how when you said, the Father is pointing you back to yourself, it's really something to think about, because radical forgiveness is a paradigm shift. It's really something to think about. This person on the soul level said, yes, I will come into your life and wreak havoc on you to get you to heal. And you start thinking, dang, you did all this for me. You came up and looked like a jackass for me. That may not have sounded very loving, but it is. I mean, like, really, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person wreaking havoc in people's lives to get folks to change. That's just not a calling I want. So to me, people who do that for us, it's like, wow, you are willing to come in and be the bad guy in my life, to be the bad lady in my life. Thanks. Because I am better. But it takes a little while to become aware. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to call you TV3. No, I'll call you HTH. But what of projecting? When the bully projects pain on them that the bully didn't put there, then they only seem to target the non-combatants. Yep. It's rare that crazy would ever go after other crazies. The insanes only seem to prey on the sane. True, HTH. When Oprah said forgiveness liberates years ago, I really began to reevaluate it. Yes, there's some that aim to... Oh, wait a minute. Where are we? Yeah. Yet there's some that aim to design how that forgiveness should be. That's very true, HTH. And that's why the beauty of us having our own spiritual practices is so important. What just popped up in my mind is the story of Tina Turner. I'm not even saying I've done a whole lot of research on Tina Turner. Y'all know Tina Turner just is Tina Turner. So it's like I breathe. There's the sun, there's the stars, there's the moon, there's Tina Turner, there's the water. But when we were learning more about Tina Turner, I was into it. So, not saying I remember everything about her life, but I often think about the testimony of Tina Turner and how all she did was chant herself up out that relationship. If that isn't an example of the liberation of our spiritual practices, no matter what situation you are in, this woman left with just her name only, beat down, abused. If that isn't a testimony to the power of spiritual practices in the midst of being in a relationship with an insane person, I don't know what is. So this is the beauty of, though we get ourselves caught up, we just feel like we're in the midst of, yes, it is very powerful. We're in the midst of disarray. We all know that. There is a way out, and the way out is to go in, to go within. And the relationships on the outside of us will in fact help us to see what changes do we need to make, what do we need to continue to do right. Because like my husband says, you just have a knack for attracting crazy people. Some of that's in our birth chart. But I don't have a knack of getting in relationship with crazy people. I will cut that ish off. All right. I don't do crazy because I have created a world here in my life that is of a certain vibration. And if somebody tries to bring something of another vibration into my space, that is not welcome here. You will get ejected. And all of this comes through spiritual practices, knowing where is my boundary? How far out am I willing to let, you know, people, like, where's my outer boundary? And actually I have several boundaries. I have that like way out there, and then they get inched in. Very few people are here. You know, you can't let everybody right here. But as soon as I start feeling like there's an infraction on the outer boundary, you will get ejected. Folks know that. I will cut folks off in a heartbeat. If I think you crazy, now I'm not going to cuss people out. I'm not like that. But shield goes up and you will feel a wall. People can only get in so far. Like, you ain't going to get my cell phone number. If you do have it and you bring in crazy, you ain't going to get no replies. Trust me, I've been down this path through my fitness world, being a fitness instructor, some crazy fitness instructors out there. We are a breed of people, trust me. So yeah, insane may come to those who are sane, but it's the responsibility of the sane to put up the little traffic cop hand. Nope. Shh. You know, don't do it. Go. You ain't coming up in here, honey. You got to go some other place. All right, let's see here. Oh, you named your daughter Oshun. Girl. She was born in August. Congratulations. Yes, it is a testimony. Tina Turner's chanting is a testimony to chanting HTH. And I told her, if I live, I will be... Oh, you honored Oshun, naming your baby Oshun. That is beautiful. I need to start talking to moms who name their children after the gods and the goddesses. I really think something needs to be put in place to... what's her middle name, Paulette? Yeah, now, right, HTH. So... this Neptune aspect, and I'm Pisces. I'm Neptune ruled. So I get that. And this is even more reason to put up boundaries. They can come, but I don't have to engage them. Yes, we do. And that was another thing I was going to say. Thank you. Yes. Who's that? Rainbow. HTH, you on it, girl. Oh, I like that. Oshun Hope. Okay, that's good. Yeah, sometimes just call her Oshun Hope. I'm not trying to tell you how to be a mama, but I don't know. I know people who've named their daughters Isis, and actually, now that I think about it, in the Metu Neter tradition, a lot of times when people take on their names, they're going to take a name. You know, it'll be the names of the gods and goddesses, though not like all of them. I can't even go into the names because those Kemetic Egyptian names just be off the chain. But just every now and again, call her Oshun Hope, especially if she starts getting like super moody or emotional. You want to call her Oshun Hope, just to tone down that Oshun energy. But Oshun gonna take care of her. Since you named her in her honor, that's really a beautiful thing. I'm so happy to know, Paulette, that you made it. It's a testimony yet again to your twin flame, your Ori. Because when you were there thinking, this is it, I'm about to be taken up out of here. Look at how things worked out for you. Oshun, Paulette, I have an Oshun child. It's a trip. Nice HTH. Yes, don't be a slave to the ego. Same people just want to be left alone. I agree, HTH. The victims are told to get over it and not the victimizer. But you know what? We live in a culture of victimization. The United States. Well, you may not be in the United States. I forgot I'm on YouTube. So, but I'm assuming you're here. The victim consciousness is just a part of how we do it. And I was even listening to some astrologers that were talking about when Chiron was in Pisces, there was a shift, and I don't know if it's even Chiron in Aries, where, how did this person say it? It was something to the effect of the victimizer became sort of like an anti-hero. I need to listen to that again and see what this person said, but it was something to the effect of there are times when the victim can be the hero, and then there's a time when the victimizer becomes the hero. And we are definitely in that age where the victimizer is becoming the one who gets turned into the victim. But we, as individual parts of the quantum field of reality, we can choose to not make the victimizer the hero. We can choose how we do it, and it affects the quantum field. And we can start getting help for the victims and also helping the victims to stand in their power more, because we never want anyone to wear the title victim for too long, because that just makes victim. Oh, okay. I see what you mean, Paulette. Really? That's true. I didn't even think about the fact that you had a baby while you have lupus. That's a beautiful thing. Did your lupus get better while you were pregnant? Sometimes pregnancy alters our body so much that someone who goes in with hypertension will come out, or while they have pregnancy, they'll have a whole normal, they will be a normal, blah, blah, their blood pressure will be normal while they are pregnant. I have another friend who normal blood clotting abilities when she is not pregnant, every time she got pregnant, it was as if her blood couldn't clot or something. It was something with the coagulation properties of the blood would change. 4 pregnancies happened, all 4 pregnancies. I'm like, Well, thank you all so much. I am going to run. I have to go exercise before I go see the chiropractor for my neck. I have had a great conversation with everybody. And I wish you all a happy Friday. And I hope to be back soon. Okay, yes, it was stable, but I had issues. You were still high risk. I can believe that. I can believe that. Just make sure that you all, if you don't mind, like the video, share the video. And if you need a reading, I do divination. You can go to goddessbodymindspirit.com and go to my spiritual readings page, and just enjoy this time. We have to make the most of where we are, and we will definitely profit and benefit from having the right attitude, a positive mindset, and spirit. And I will see y'all in the next video.